A massive new AEW signing revealed, plus great news for NXT and great news for AEW. We're going to talk about it all right here in this video. All right, you guys may have missed my video yesterday. I talked a little bit about it on stream as well with the AEW Warner Bros. Discovery deal. I want to do a quick update because there's been a lot of numbers that have been reported. Variety came out and so many different reports, mixed reports. Nobody really knows exactly the amount of money that AEW is expected here. So I just want to talk about this really quickly. AEW is getting roughly about $185 million per year for 3 years with Warner Bros. Discovery. The deal is worth over $555 million over the 3 years, but that also doesn't include revenue from pay-per-view events. Now, keep in mind, pay-per-views will be on the Max streaming service, but because the pay-per-views are on the Max streaming service and they're sold at a discounted rate, AEW will be able to make money from the pay-per-views. But that also means there's going to be a split between AEW and Warner Bros. Discovery. Now, with that being said, Rampage is in fact canceled. I talked about that weeks ago. So AEW is going to get paid a lot of money. They're going to be profitable here, which is always great news. No, it's not the $1 billion that everybody thought it was originally going to be, but that's not what is necessary here. I think this is a fantastic deal for AEW. The one thing that is a little bit intriguing, though, is the HBO Max, the streaming service, right? The Max streaming service. It costs money to pay for, to utilize that service. And if you have that service, you do get pay-per-views at a discounted rate. I don't really know what the strategy is there if pay-per-views are exclusively on Max. There hasn't really been clarification as to whether or not the pay-per-views will be on the Max streaming service, or maybe if they will be on the Max streaming service plus Triller plus all these other services as well. But I imagine it is not going to be... I imagine it's going to be a little bit of a more difficult sell, honestly. I don't know if the pay-per-view numbers will be as high as they normally would be because you are asking people to pay for the Max streaming service. So it really depends what they do there. There is a lot of confusion in regards to that, but obviously that is something to pay attention to. And really the last thing that you guys need to remember, if you guys didn't watch yesterday's video, the simulcasting thing was 100% confirmed. So AEW Dynamite and Collision will be simulcasted from TBS, TNT, as well as the Max streaming service. So that's a really good thing for AEW. For those current subscribers who have Max, but maybe they don't pay for cable, now you have the ability to watch live while it's on the air. So I think that's a good thing, but that is only for US residents only. So again, this is going to be a really interesting thing to see how it plays out once more details arrive, but I think this is a very good deal. They're going to be profitable, extremely profitable, and in addition to that, they're going to have some sort of distribution on Max, which I think is better than no distribution at all. It just really matters the finer details in that deal. With that being said, let's turn our attention to NXT. Super exciting stuff here, guys. NXT on the CW. How did it perform? You know, on this channel, we don't talk about ratings as often, whether it's AEW, WWE, or whatever it may be. We try to stay away from the ratings talk, but this is pretty impressive. This is pretty cool to see. The CW network delivers the largest audience for NXT since October 2023. So it's been over a year since NXT had numbers like this. They drew a total of 895,000 total viewers, which was plus 44% over last week's episode on cable. This is really big, honestly, because with NXT strategy going to the CW, nobody really knows what next week's numbers are going to look like in the week after that and stuff. And plus, you got to remember with rating calculations, I always say this, how accurate are they truly, right? The biggest thing when people are talking about ratings, they're talking about the Nielsen rating boxes, and people don't really know how to explain it. People don't really understand how ratings work. I think more than 895,000 people obviously watched NXT, but that's the number that comes in through the Nielsen box. It's outdated technology. We've gone through this a million times on the channel, but it is very good to see just in general that there was a good positive response. It's not the number that we're talking about. It's just overall the response to NXT on the CW. It's being met with a lot of positivity, which is absolutely imperative when switching to a new TV network. I think NXT looks great. I think the CW is going to be a great partner for the NXT. And what's really interesting too is that the CW, being that it is on broadcast TV, it is absolutely free. I think one of the big things that's going to be really interesting here is to see if NXT grows under the CW or if NXT goes under what they were with USA, because a lot of people are predicting that they are going to actually decline in overall popularity. I predict it's going to be the opposite. Now, with that being said, the CW also did upload NXT onto the CW app the following day around afternoon. So you can watch it, but there are a ton of ads on the CW app. But it is completely free. You don't got to have a subscription or anything like that, which is nice. If you're somebody cutting the cord, if you're somebody who doesn't want a cable bill, you can watch NXT for absolutely free. If you have an antenna, that works great. If you don't have an antenna, but you have Wi-Fi at home, just download the CW app. Yes, there are a lot of ads, and no, we don't know what the viewership is on the app for NXT, but I am curious to see how that works for WWE because this is next day view streaming experience. It's something a little bit new. So I like this. I like this idea. I'm glad for NXT. I'm happy for NXT. It seems like all these new TV deals have worked out so far really in favor of all the brands, right? AEW is profitable. WWE is obviously profitable, but I think it's going to be kind of cool for the next few years to just chill out on all the TV talk, because for the last 2 years, I've been covering this nonstop, and now we're starting to see the results of it, which is great. But let's get back to focusing on the creative, and that's really the big thing on this channel. And that brings us to our final topic. A new AEW signing has been revealed, and it is Bobby Lashley. According to Fightful Select, it appears that Bobby Lashley signed with the company weeks ago. MVP, Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin all signed with AEW just a few weeks ago, and MVP is expected to primarily serve as a manager for both stars. Fightful Select reported this. Obviously, we saw Shelton Benjamin debut on the AEW 5-year anniversary show. I love it. Love these guys. I want them to be treated as a big deal. It's really important to me that they are. The Hurt Syndicate is here. It's a different business, but obviously it's basically the Hurt business. Now, is it going to be Swerve who joins? Who's going to join this group? There's a lot of rumors, a lot of names being floated around. Obviously, MVP going after Prince Nana is an interesting choice. Bobby Lashley, to me, is a top guy. He is a massive star. He's done a lot of great things inside and outside of the WWE, so I feel like he's going to do very, very well in AEW. Plus, there's rumors that he wants to do professional boxing bouts. That's a possibility under AEW. Lashley is a legitimate fighter. So not only is he a legitimate fighter, but he's also very legitimate in the ring. I think it's going to pan out pretty well. It's all about, creating the right perception for Bobby Lashley. He's a big deal. Treat him like a big deal. I would fully expect to see him next week on Dynamite. And if not, that could be a really big blow. But ultimately, really excited about this. Really curious to see what Bobby Lashley does in AEW and how they book him. And hopefully he's getting paid extremely well. And ladies and gentlemen, just a quick reminder, we are live Monday through Friday on the channel. Today is October 3rd. I will not be live today, and I will not be live tomorrow on October 4th, just due to some other commitments, but we'll be back next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you guys stay tuned. We're talking about all the things happening in pro wrestling, and you definitely don't want to miss it. Thanks for watching.